Good morning. My name is Suresh. Thanks for this opportunity. A heart attack in 2 days. Can we do this? Are we good at prediction? Yes, if your doctor uses predictive analytics. Going one step further, the message can even say, your heart attack will happen 5 years from now if you stop doing A, B, and C and start doing D and E. That gives you a chance to focus on prevention and maybe change the life path. Big data has 3 V's. Volume, as you can see, lots and lots of petabytes across the world. Variety, which is communication between people, people and machines, and between machines. And finally, velocity, as exemplified by the 3 million emails every second and by the 20 hours of video which goes onto YouTube every minute. The technical definition of big data is data sets so large and complex that we cannot process them using traditional data tools. In healthcare, going back to the 3 V's, we have massive volumes of clinical data, current and historical. And we have velocity, the rate at which we get the data, and variety. We use paper forms, we have MRI images, we have lab test and electronic flow sheets, EKGs, the whole gamut of structured to unstructured data, with media also thrown in. Big data, by some scientists' definition, is at least 5 to 7 terabytes large. The simplest definition for analytics is data plus meaning. The simplest definition for informatics is the science of data storage, process, and retrieval. Let's talk about big data saving some lives. Let's talk about organ transplantation. Every day, 22 people die because they cannot get the organ they're waiting for. By the time my talk is done, one more person is added to the national transplant waiting list, which is 120,000 long. And this 120,000 people cannot be treated on a first-come, first-served basis. There are issues with incompatibilities between donor and recipient. Body size matters, blood type matters, antigen-antibody interactions matter, and then there is the logistical issue of geography, where the donor and the recipient could be thousands of miles apart. Professor Alvin Roth from Stanford used matching theory and created an algorithm which will resolve this issue to some extent. He created what's called a paired kidney exchange. So we have a mom on this side who wants to donate her kidney to her daughter who needs it, but she can't because there is incompatibility. And then you have a brother who wants to donate the kidney to his sister, but can't do it because there is incompatibility. But the matching theory combines these two pairs so that the mother can actually donate to the sister over there, and the brother from there can donate to the daughter here. Sounds pretty simple, but until 2000, only 2 such paired exchanges happened. The last 15 years, we've had 3,000 of them. So the algorithm is solid, and it's working. And for this effort, Professor Roth, who had already done some work on market design using the matching theory, won a small prize. You may have heard of it. It's given out in Europe every year. So what next? 2 professors from Pittsburgh, actually, devised an advanced algorithm which works on donor chains to the point it creates 3-way swaps, 4-way swaps, kidney exchanges, and as recently as earlier this year, a 6-way kidney transplant exchange. Surgeons and anesthetists in San Francisco did the exchange, which involved 12 patients who were daisy-chained, causing one of the biggest paired transplants ever. This leads to this amazing statistic. One organ donor can save 8 lives, if you think about it. We are not talking fancy drugs or newer vaccines. We're talking data, numbers, algorithms, machine learning, computational biology. Has the surgical technique of transplant surgeons improved? Yes. Has the medicines which the patients take gotten better and safer? Yes. But it is the singular focus of big data and newer algorithms that has saved countless lives of children and adults who are waiting for a heart, a lung, a kidney, a pancreas, a part of your bowel. Amazing. Now, when the professors from Pittsburgh who worked on this algorithm, they actually had to work pretty slow and increment on an incremental basis because they literally had to look at trillions of potential exchanges between donors and recipients. So is there an issue that computers cannot crunch big data? Thankfully, no. The smartphones of today are more powerful than what NASA had for computers during the moonshot in '69. If you look at a comparison between the Apollo guidance computer and an older version of the iPhone, the storage size and the processing speed of the iPhone are anywhere from thousands to 1 million times more. You wonder which is a modern marvel. Is it the smartphone, or is it the fact that man made it to the moon 200,000 miles away with what would be considered today as primitive software? Let's look at how analytics has evolved. On the lowermost part of this graph, on the x-axis you have business value, on the y-axis you have complexity going from low to high. On the lowest part you have the standard report, what happened. The next step, you analyze using basic statistics, range, arithmetic mean, standard deviation, etc. The next step, what's happening now? How do I monitor? That's where dashboards come in. The next step, you predict what's going to happen tomorrow or the next month using data from the past. The step after that are model scenarios. You simulate what may happen later using everything from the present and the past. A different way of looking at it where you have difficulty on the x-axis and value on the y-axis. Under hindsight and insight, you have descriptive and predictive analytics. But there is a new term here, prescriptive analytics. Not only can we predict what can happen, but can we make it happen when we need it, when we want it? It's a truly exciting field. A great man once said, "In God we trust. Everyone else must bring data." Professor Deming was an engineer, a statistician, an author, and a management consultant who did yeoman service for the field of data science. I'm fortunate to work at a leading children's hospital which uses cutting-edge technology, and this is one of our projects which I'd like to show. On the x-axis, you have time frames, dates, and time of day. On the y-axis, you have a score, which is from 0 to 100, an objective index. So as clinicians, when doctors and nurses take care of patients, we try to talk to them if they can talk back to us. We examine them, we look at the vital signs, we look at their test results, x-ray results, etc., and try to find out how they are doing. So in this particular patient, with traditional medicine, you could place the patient at a score of about 25. And in this graph, lower the score, sicker the patient. But as a physician, I can only think 5 or 6 parameters at a time for a particular patient. What if we had an algorithm which took into account 25 to 30 parameters, including nursing assessments, which are textual, which is converted into the algorithm by artificial intelligence, and gives me a score which is an electronic alert. And if you notice, this alert happened anywhere from 8 to 12 hours before the patient would crash by traditional medicine measurements. 8 to 12 hours is a lot of time for doctors and nurses to go back and examine the child and in some cases literally save the child's life. This, ladies and gentlemen, is predictive analytics at its best in a hospital setting. It is said that the average human brain can hold 200 megabytes of information. 200 megabytes. I can almost hear my wife mumbling, no, not your brain, it's not big enough. And maybe she's right, because I can't memorize or figure out the grocery shopping list, which is on a Post-it note. But the point here is, humans cannot deal with the volume, velocity, and variety of data that hits us in the healthcare field, and we do need, desperately need, the power of computers and software. What does predictive analytics do? What can it do? I believe it can change medicine. Patients will be better informed, and in some cases, the physician's role will be reduced to that of a consultant. These are learning models, which means they get more precise as additional cases get added. And they're actually different from conventional traditional statistics and evidence-based medicine in the sense that they do not follow a bell-shaped curve, and you may not have any outliers at all. And more importantly, the predictions are for individuals and not for groups. I'd like to read off the slide on this. This is from Lieutenant Eric Shoemaker, a former Surgeon General. And he said that we can save 4 lives for every 100 patients treated with better data-driven coordination. And this is unparalleled. We're not talking about improving quality of life here. We're talking about saving lives with data. So what's the next frontier for big data in healthcare? What is the next blockbuster drug of the century? It's patient engagement. This quote is attributed to Leonard Kish, who is a health IT strategy consultant. So looking at patient engagement, it does happen. Patients engage through physicians, through subspecialists, through traditional media, through friends, through direct mail, etc. So what has this got to do with big data? Let's find out. How much healthcare do we consume? If you look at the CDC report from 2012, a lot. More than 1 billion ER visits, doctor's office visits, more than 30 million hospital admissions, over 50 million operations and procedures. Do we ask for patients and families for their feedback from all these health encounters? Of course we do. We call them, we email them, we send mail surveys, forms by snail mail. Can you believe it? Paper in this day and age. So what happens after that? We get a survey response rate of 10 to 20%. That is it. Now what if, just humor me here, we looked at every single of these millions and billion encounters and took the data to improve provider and hospital behavior and maybe even patient behavior? That would be big data, and that would be awesome. To give an example outside of healthcare, I was at the Detroit Auto Show a few years ago. It's one of the 3 biggest auto shows in the world. There was a new electric car. I was in the passenger seat, and a dealer drove me around indoors. It was pretty cool. And once it was done, I'm coming out trying to go to the next display, and they asked for my feedback. It was a tablet. It had 4 questions, I think. I did not have to scroll up and down or side by side. 1 to 5 Likert scale, a couple of clicks, it was done. Then I walked out and just looked back and to find out how many people are doing it. Almost everyone, close to 100%. Now, why did it work? 1, it was digital. 2, it was brief. 3, it was at point of service. And 4, it was right after my experience. Why don't we do that in healthcare? Something for you guys to think about. This could be the world's quickest survey. Smile, neutral, frown, push a button, done. We should have this in every doctor's office, every room, every ER, every operating room, every hospital bed. Would be awesome. Moving on to patient-generated health data. What you see there is a small adapter which can connect to your glucose measuring stick. That goes into a smartphone. You see the blood sugar value there, a diabetes management system, and you can send that to your mother, doctor, whoever. You can do the same thing with your blood pressure. It records it, you can send it to your mother, doctor, whoever. You have a wireless weighing scale, which apparently can be connected to a big screen TV, and you can see your weight being trended on a large 16-inch screen. Don't know why you would want to do that, but it's comforting to know that the option exists. And you can send that to your mother, your doctor, you get the point. As a practicing emergency physician, sometimes I see families showing me pictures of their child's rash progressing over a few days, or a video of a seizure. It is extremely useful to me because then I can provide a more correct treatment. Peter Drucker, who's a famous management consultant, talks about measurement in management. If you can't automate the measurement of it, it's difficult to improve it. I work for a health system which recently decided to post doctor ratings from patients online, a pretty bold and innovative move. Healthcare is an inflection point. It is not just the practice of medicine anymore, it is the business of healthcare. Consumers will demand more from an overall care experience. Joe Quaidar has this wonderful book, The Internet of Healthy Things. He predicts 26 billion connected objects by 2020. And these are not just your smartphones and smartwatches. We're talking pill boxes, your exercise suit, which will have trackers, your car, your refrigerator, your home exercise equipment. All of these will be connected and linked via GPS and cloud. Only 10% of the population are currently motivated to improve their health. And quoting Joe here, the game changer will be to get the other 90% to buy into this so that they can manage their own health. What happens to those who invent sensors, since we're talking about sensors? These are all sensors. I know they look old, but they are external sensors which try to find out if we are sick or not. All of these inventors won this little prize again. So, the challenge to one of you is to get the next big sensor and maybe win the Nobel Prize in the next few years. Big data in genomics is huge. Currently, it's in terabytes. We'll probably see that in petabytes. Lots and lots of data. The problem is to get the needle from a haystack, which is 39,000 miles high. Let's look at some number ones in the industry. The largest library is a software company, Amazon. The largest taxi company is a software company, Uber. The largest marketing company is a software company, Google. Is it too much to expect that the largest healthcare system or firm in the next years or decades will be a software company? Don't know. Some fun stuff. Baseball, the poster child for big data. We all know about Moneyball, but there's more to it. There are 2,430 games in an MLB season, not counting the playoffs. MLB has a statistician in every one of those games on site. So we can look at Justin Verlander's pitch heat map for every single pitch since he became a pro. You can slice and dice his curveball, how he pitched on Tuesday evenings, etc. Why does MLB do this? Because the stakeholders want it. The fans want it, the players want it, the owners want it, the managers want it. I realize this is Steeler country, but I have to show an app which is from Gillette Stadium and it's from the New England Patriots. That's the landing page for the app. You see the usual scores, tickets, etc. And there is a link there to restroom wait times. Click on it, you get to this, you figure out which section you are, and it tells you what the wait times are, and you can pick and choose. So you have information on the palm of your hand, which answers that most important question. Should I pee now or should I pee later? And this is for the casual fan who goes there for 4 hours. We have patients in our healthcare system who stay with us for a lot more than 4 hours, 4 days, 4 weeks, sometimes 4 months. Do we provide such kind of information, relevant information, information which will improve their care experience on the palms of their hand? We're not there yet. Patients need access to their data. There's a growing movement. Hugo Campos is a famous blogger who has an implanted cardiac device in him, but he cannot get access to that data. He can access data from his fitness tracker around the wrist or from his Withings blood pressure cuff, but not this. Adrian Groper's quote that devices should first talk to us, the patient, then the doctor, and then maybe to the vendor in the cloud. But now it's in reverse order. Thankfully, patient portals have come up and evolved over the past few years so that consumers can get timely information in the comfort of their homes. You know we are talking mainstream when you have the dummy series riding on big data and predictive analytics. We have arrived. There is a concern in the medical community that with all the focus on technology, do we lose the human touch? Are we going from this to this? We don't have to. We could do this, or even better, this. You can engage your patients, you can embrace technology, and you can provide outstanding care all at the same time. I thoroughly enjoyed this talk. I wanted to thank every one of you for your attention. Have a nice day.
Thank you.